welcome to my channel, guys. Today we'll be covering some very important stuff. Let's start with this one. You have seen Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince Mahmud bin Salman calling out Netanyahu and asking for the world to hold him accountable, criminally responsible. I'm going to be playing the video for a little bit so that you know what is going on.
فخامة وسمو الدولة تؤكد المملكة رفضها القاطع لاستمرار العدوان والاحتلال والتهجير القسري لسكان غزة، كما تؤكد تحميل سلطات الاحتلال مسؤولية الجرائم المرتكبة بحق الشعب الفلسطيني ومقدراته. وإننا على يقين بأن السبيل الوحيد لتحقيق الأمن والسلام والاستقرار في المنطقة هو إنهاء الاحتلال والحصار والاستيطان وحصول الشعب الفلسطيني على حقوقه المشروعة وإقامة دولته المستقلة بحدود 67 وعاصمتها القدس الشرقية، وهو ما يضمن استدامة الأمن واستقرار المنطقة ودولها. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
This is not the first time they spoke against Israel. Back in the month of February this year, they issued a statement saying this: Israel continues to implement its notorious settlement policies despite the decisions of the court and the UN Security Council. Israel has no intention of reaching a negotiation process. Again, coming from Saudi Arabia, and we have seen this in the past. We are seeing this happening at the moment. MBS and Saudi government, they are very vociferously asking the international community to take action against Israel, against Netanyahu. But here is the problem. Don't go anywhere. What should we believe? Should we believe MBS or should we believe Saudi government's action? Take a look at this one. For example, Saudi Arabia removes anti-Israel material from school books. Coming from Dr. Ali David. This is a Zionist guy, but he nevertheless loved this post for some reason, so he tweeted, Saudi Arabia removes anti-Israel material from school books. France imposes a ban on Israeli defense companies. Arab countries trying to modernize while France is going back to 1940s when it joyfully collaborated with those killing Jews. So in other words, Saudi Arabia, when they say something, was a lot of the time we see them doing exactly the opposite. So for example, this one, take a look at this. MBS and King Abdullah. So Jordan informed Yemen that it will not allow its airspace to be used against Israel. Saudi Arabia also opposed Yemen's request to use its airspace against Israel. But they do not let Israeli airplanes use their airspace. How, I don't know what to make out of it. I mean, one hand you hear MBS roaring and, you know, with all the glory, like, yeah, we are going to hold you accountable. On the other hand, you see him allowing Israeli warplanes using his airspace or the airspace, carrying bombs to be dropped on places like Yemen, you know, Jordan, even Lebanon, wherever they want, pretty much. Israel has a free pass on Iran, on anybody they like. I mean, they sometimes even bomb Jordan if they feel like it. So yeah, one hand again. So MBS, I don't know what to make out of it. What MBS really wants. Now, one thing very clear, guys. You have to understand here, Saudi Arabia, regardless of the rhetoric coming from MBS and the government there, they cannot fight Israel. They are not capable of winning any war with Israel. They have tried in the past. 5 Arab nations ganged up. They tried to attack and, you know, defeat the Zionist state. They lost miserably. And now, if they want to go and fight again with Israel, they know they will be defeated and they will be humiliated and they will be destroyed completely. But the only time, now don't go anywhere, the only time the equation can change is when these Arab countries, especially Saudi Arabia, UAE, would ask the Turks to help them and the Iranian to help them out. Unless that happens, they know they cannot go to war, and at the same time we know they are not going to be reaching out to Erdogan. They're not going to be reaching out to the Turks, to the Iranian. They're not going to do that because they have this huge ego problem, right? Why should we grovel to these countries? We are best. You know, we're the Arab country. We're the whole holder of the key of the, Kaaba and all that. But obviously, at the same time, we are seeing some of the threats coming from Yemen. They tried to bomb Yemen for 10 years, could do nothing. So again, exposes Saudi's weakness and vulnerability. So can you imagine Saudi Arabia going to war against Israel when they cannot even win a war with Houthis in Yemen? this is something unfathomable, and the bottom line is they're never going to do it. Now, obviously, UN is holding them accountable. Take a listen at this one.
Treatment. Israel's total siege of the Gaza Strip has weaponized the provision of life-sustaining necessities for strategic and political gains, including through cutting off supplies of water, food, electricity, fuel, and other essential supplies, including humanitarian assistance.
Yeah, the only entity now holding Israel accountable is the international community, minus the Muslim countries. And we have seen the International Criminal Court, ICC, ICJ, and all of these entities are coming forward, including countries like South Africa, Ireland, some of the European countries, but that's about it. And they talk about this. You have to understand, Israel, they laugh at all of this kind of, threats, this kind of rhetoric coming from these places. Why? Because they know at the end of the day, UN doesn't have weapon. They don't have any authority. They don't have any power over US, over Israel. And so every time we see UN is coming together, coalescing with other members, saying, yeah, we're going to hold Israel accountable, or that Israel committed a war crime and Netanyahu should be tried and tried. They're laughing. Israel is laughing. Oh, really? You guys have, nothing. You do not have power. You do not have nothing to hold Israel accountable. And Israel has a lot of power on the other hand, including from people like Donald Trump. Take a look at this video. So anyone would think that Donald Trump or any government, U.S. government, would hold Israel accountable when they come to power. In this case, Donald Trump. You are fooling yourself. You're fooling yourself. Now, take a look at this tweet. This is very, very interesting. See, in 2007, Benjamin Netanyahu hand-wrote a list of potential millionaire donors for his political campaign. First on the list was Sheldon Adelson, whose wife just donated Donald Trump over, I don't know, is this $1 billion or 100 million? I don't know, but a lot of money. Ninth of the list was Donald Trump. American presidents are selected before they can get elected. And this is absolutely what it is. They do not go to election. They do not go to win any public office unless they have somebody sending them to do so, and that is Israeli, the Zionist lobby. If they pick you, if they see in you total unconditional love for the Zionists, for these monsters, they will approve you, just like Rishi Sunak. Like right now, his whole career depends on how satisfying he was to the Israelis, to Netanyahu government, to the Zionists. If he made any mistake, if he made them, a little bit unhappy with him, obviously he's going to be defeated, and there is no doubt about that. Because again, they are being selected before they are being elected. This is so true. Now, obviously, MBS coming a lot of problem in his own country. We have seen people are protesting. So I just want to show you something here, something that caught my attention, and that is, guys, this one. Take a look at this protest in Saudi Arabia. This is what they said. This is happening in Saudi Arabia. People are shouting for Palestine. They're asking the world to take action. They're denouncing Israel and their propaganda and what they're doing, all the atrocities and the oppression. And it looks like these are a bunch of women protesting in Saudi Arabia against Israel. So for MBS, the problem is just going to get worse and worse. And because of that, perhaps we are seeing sometimes he talks against Israel, and then the next moment he realizes, oh, it's not really that bad. People are just going back home. Then he changed his position. Looks like to me this is what is happening. But the whole world is taking notice. This group of people who are praying on the street is not happening in Saudi Arabia. So the protest and the exposure of the Israeli lies are being felt and seen all throughout the world. And this is happening in Canada. Take a look at these people, praying on the street, and demonstrating and raising their voices and making a point and letting the whole world know that this oppression must be stopped. And these are not, the people who are, on the pavements. They're not necessarily all Muslims, and they are not. I'm pretty sure there are a lot of non-Muslims there. So it's the Muslim non-Muslim coalition, if you want to call it that way, who are protesting this atrocity by the Zionist regime. I have a comment here. Bazir, so Saudi Arabia has been a big disappointment. Subhanallah, that is so true, brother. I'll see you in the next video. Assalamu alaikum.